right, let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the July 25th meeting of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. I'm Aaron Mays, represent District 3. I'm currently serving as the chairman. On my left is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1, and on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, representing District 2. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Morning.
All right. Madam Clerk, first item, please.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
We have 4 items on the consent agenda. If there's not any objections, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business, A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay, a couple vouchers that are out of the ordinary here. Under building maintenance, Kansas Department of Transportation, $138,000 is for Deer Creek Trail, Robinson Extension, County Matching Funds. Under general expenses, Meridian Roofing Solutions, $177,021 is for roof repair for Stormont Vale Event Center. Under Public Works, SBB Engineering, LLC, $19,538 for construction inspection services for Southeast Croco Road, I-470 KTA Bridge to I-70 Bridge, northbound lanes pavement replacement. Under Solid Waste Recycling, Downing Sales and Services, Inc., totaling $43,750 is for commercial refuge containers. Total vouchers as of July 22nd, 2022, $2,082,037.16. If there's no questions or comments, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move approval of the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, Public Works number 1, consider approval of a request to award bid to Bettis Asphalt and Construction Company, Inc. of Topeka for a parking lot repair project, DOC Adult Detention Center Southeast and Southwest parking lots, at a cost of $68,913.64, and authorization and execution of contract C-218-2022 for same. Funding will come from the 2022 contingency funds.
Good morning, Courtney House, Director of Public Works. Back on July 13th, we received 2 bids. They were within $400 of one another, and they were less than the engineer's estimate. So I'm here before you asking you to approve and authorize and execute a contract with Bettis Asphalt and Construction for the milling, repair, patching, and overlay of the southeast and southwest parking lots at the Adult Detention Center. Work will start here in early August. We'll work with Major Eve Kendall on getting people moved out of the parking lot. I guess there's a large Shawnee County dumpster also. And I look forward to the work and improvement to the parking lot. Questions?
Any questions for Kurt?
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
This is more of a question, I think, for Betty Griner. And on the capital outlay plan under Department of Corrections number 208, it said Department of Corrections parking lot concrete work for a total of $600,000 of $225,000 for year 2023. This is not related to that. These are independent of each other.
Well, there's some asphalt lots and some concrete lots.
Okay.
It is my understanding that that on there is for the concrete portion.
All right. Very good.
Can I add one thing to that, Betty?
Yeah, please.
Remember, there were 4 parking lots on the DOC property. 2 southeast, southwest, and there were 2 at the north end. We were delaying the north end because there conceivably may be some stormwater work that we will have to do. We don't want to put a nice new mat on those parking lots up north and then have to tear them up. So that cost may include some HMA parking lot.
Okay. And we've tentatively set aside $500,000 for roof and parking lot for 2022.
Yes, and that's for the whole county. And Kurt has graciously offered that his department would go around to all of the county parking lots and roofs and look at those, especially the parking lots, and look at those and evaluate those for the condition of them and the use that they get, and then bring back, their priorities on which parking lots would need to be addressed first.
All right.
So that's for the whole county.
All right, very good.
Any other questions?
I would move for approval.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Next item.
Item B2, consider a request to reject bids and re-advertise for a pavement mill and overlay project, Southwest 57th Street from South Topeka Boulevard to the Topeka city limits.
Courtney House, Director of Public Works, where we have one success, now we have somewhat of a failure. We received, back on July 14th, we received 2 bids. One bid was within the state statute requirement. Unfortunately, it did not meet our bid specifications. And in order, if we had worked with the contractor and accomplished a bid with Sunflower that would have been within the bid specifications, its cost would have also been above the threshold, the 110% threshold. So we recommended that the bids be rejected and we start over.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Kurt, just maybe kind of walk through with me, just for maybe my own education as well as the public, the bid specifications versus what was bid, to me, appear very, very minute in difference, and I'm having a hard time following why it couldn't be accomplished.
Okay. When we had specified the project, we had specified a 12-inch wide mill head. And there's a reason for that, 2 reasons primarily.
12
One
feet.
is this is on 57th Street. It carries,
12 feet. 12 feet, right?
yep, 12 feet.
Okay, you said
A lane
12
width,
inch,
A
but
lane
yeah.
width.
You
Did
said
I say 12
well,
feet?
then you said 12 inches.
Oh, multiply that by 12.
We're with you.
Yeah, 12 feet. And the reason for that, 2 reasons primarily, is one, that 57th Street carries a lot of truck traffic. So we want to get in and out of there real quick. The second reason is we felt like with a 12-foot wide mill, you have an endpoint and an endpoint that you can check very clearly. You can check the mill depth, and theoretically, there's a straight line between those 2 endpoints. Whereas if you take a narrower milling head, then you have the potential for a differential depth. And we wanted a quality wearing surface, both longitudinal and transverse. So we stuck with the 12-foot milling width. When we rebid this, we will again stick with the 12-foot milling head, and we will require that asphalt be placed on the lane lines, which is approximately 12 foot wide. Any other questions?
And so because Sunflower would have to come back and basically do 2 runs as opposed to 1 run, that disqualified them.
Yes. And we gave Sunflower the opportunity to find a 12-foot mill head. And in doing so, they got a price, but it would have then kicked them above the 110% threshold. They would have still been slightly lower than the other bid, but it would have still kicked them above the threshold, the 110% threshold.
So Kurt, when you relet this, you're going to just, changing the estimate, is that going to be the main difference?
Well, I think the
The engineer
contractor now is much more aware of our bid specifications,
Okay, all right.
and we hope they bid again.
But in the meantime, what have the costs of product and materials done?
Well, we're hopefully that we're getting on this soon enough that there won't be a significant change.
Okay. All right.
All right, further questions? All right, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Can I add something,
Yeah,
Kevin?
please.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You have to remember, we had two bidders here. Both bidders, one bidder wants Shawnee County to accommodate them. And the other bidder is watching what we're doing. We're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. The correct and safe thing to do here was to reject the bids and relet it.
Okay. And again, with the number of truck traffic that we have on 57th Street, the number of volume that it has, wanting to make sure that you have this as a completely level surface.
You bet.
And then also, just to clarify, this is 57th Street is the one that is also City Topeka owned for a good portion of it as well.
Yeah,
So this is just our section.
just our section, correct.
Right. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Mays, a second by Commissioner Rippon. Any further discussion?
No.
All right, those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Thank
Item
you.
C, Audit Finance, number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2022-59, appointing Mark Price as the Director of Information Technology.
Morning, Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. I am very pleased to bring to you a resolution that would appoint Mark Price as the Director of Information Technology. I was very pleased with the interest that was shown in this position. We had 13 applicants. All of those applicants received an interview by phone. Then it was narrowed down to 5, and those 5 were interviewed in person. And by our panel, we had a interview panel, and I want to thank Jonathan Brazon and Angela Lewis for helping interview the candidates. We unanimously voted to select Mark Price for this. I think you know that Mark has a lot of experience with not only our systems, but also our applications that played a part in our decision, but was not all of it. So I don't know if Mark would like to say anything?
Mark Price, Information Technology. I just look forward to the opportunity. Appreciate the trust that everyone's put in me, and look forward to continuing to serve the county.
All right. We haven't voted yet, Mark.
Let's just check. Yeah, possible opportunity.
Mark, I'm having an issue with Outlook. He could be there today.
Good chat.
Just checking.
All right.
Move to approve the appointment of Mark Price as the Information Technology Director.
I'll second.
All right, a motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Congratulations, Mark. All right, next item, please.
Item D, Facilities Management, number 1, consider approval of request to utilize 2022 contingency funds for the emergency purchase to remove, repair, and replace the existing parking lot ramp at the east entrance to the courthouse at a cost not to exceed $67,273.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hilda Henning, Director of Facilities Management. As I have spoken with each of you before, we had found a geyser coming out of a crack in that ramp, and did some investigating and found out there has been a major washout underneath that ramp due to safety concerns, because it is utilized daily by the transport vehicles that back into the secure transfer garage for inmates, that we feel that it needs to be repaired. I had reached out to 3 different vendors. This is the only one that responded to my request. So we would like to get approval so we can proceed to investigate and repair what damage has been done underneath there. Any questions?
Questions?
Do we know the approximate length of time that this project would take?
At this point, no, because we're going to try to do it in small enough batches that we can keep the transport garage open and usable. So it will be kind of drug out for that reason. But the first part is to break into the concrete and see how bad the washout is underneath there, and to see if there's any damage to the drain, areaway drain, and the drain that leads away from there.
Okay. And then will some of the parking lot spaces be maybe reallocated or moved around a little bit?
At this point, no. At this point, we hope that everyone can get access in and out, and we can continue to utilize the parking lot.
Okay.
Further questions?
I know Commissioner Cook's parking stall is the closest thing to this.
Right over the grate.
Well, I'm trying to make it to where you don't step out into a puddle every time it rains.
That That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially after you no longer park there and the next person's not gonna wanna step out into a puddle.
All right. I'll move for approval on this.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item E, Commission Number 1, consider canceling the August 15th and November 21st commission meetings for election canvassing.
All right, so we have 2 meetings that we need to cancel because we will be doing election canvassing. My understanding is these are going to be full-day events for the most part, with some small breaks in between, so not really possible for us to be here and there at the same time. So I will move that we cancel those 2 meetings.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item E2, continued discussion of capital improvement plan.
All right, on to the fun part.
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. I would like to point out a few changes that have been made since last time we met. I'll kind of go over those. There were, let's see, under Facilities Management, Project 102, had some amounts there for roof replacements. Since we are allocating the 250, the 500,000 each year for roof and parking lots, those have been withdrawn. Down on court data cabling, and that's project 203. That has been decreased by 15,000 because of the courthouse renovation and a portion of that will be handled through the courthouse renovation. The next one down, the Dornwood complex renovations is 1.1 million. That I would like to request that we move over to the new debt columns, because that is really, should be considered when we're considering the new debt rather than a capital outlay item. Then the court's request for a restroom, project 206, that has been added to the courthouse renovation project, so that has been withdrawn from this. Emergency management, the EOC vehicle sustainment, those items have withdrawn their request for 2023 and have just moved those requests over from 23, 24, 25 to 24, 25, 26. So they've just shifted over for 1 year. Then, let's see, this one was during our last meeting, the DOC inmate beds and storages of total of 100,000, those had been withdrawn by DOC. The next one down, the emergency management tactical communication vehicle sustainment, the amount for 2023 has been withdrawn. We have another item here, elections office technology replacement of $2,878,000. That is another item that really should be considered as part of the new debt. I have not moved that, but I would suggest that that gets moved over to the new debt columns. And then one more item down here, another large item, the sheriff garage facility of $5 million for 2026. I also would suggest that needs to be moved over to the new debt column and considered with that. So I guess at this point, my question to you as commission is if you agree to move those 3 items over to the new debt columns and consider them when we're considering new debt.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we adopt all of the recommendations made by Betty Griner thus far.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
move over here.
And Betty, I might note that, I think you said $1.1 million for Dornwood, but it's 1.5. I just want to make sure.
Oh, yes, you're right. I did miss, thank you. Yes, it is 1.5, and that is for 2023. Okay, thank you for that. I also have redone the prioritizing of the projects, and the 5 is now the highest priority, and all three of you are in sync on your scoring now.
Good.
Betty, what's our bottom line with those changes made? So just under the $2 million.
Yes. Yes, here would be your approved amounts.
There's one item on here that we had questions about last time we spoke. We do have folks from the Stormont Event Center here today. Would you be willing to come and just speak to us about the radio and tower upgrade one more time?
Yes, I have Matt Rockers with us today at Kellen Sites, Stormontville Event Center, Oakview Group 360. Matt manages all of our CIP projects as well as a number of our other operational projects. Matt Rockers, our Director of Operations.
Morning, Matt Rockers, Director of Operations. What questions do you have for?
Could you kind of explain that project?
So the existing system that we have are two-way communication with our Motorola wireless radios for our event staff, Shawnee County Sheriff's, AMR, security in the facility for our event day communication. Nelson from Emergency Management has been diligently trying to keep that system going the past couple of years, and it has just reached the age where technology has surpassed it, and it's time for an upgrade and replacement of that system.
Okay. Any questions about that at all?
How do you plan on doing, are you going to do it just in one step, or is it going to be phased in?
Yeah, it's just a one-step process. So we have one repeater that will have to be changed out, and then we have several old radios that will not convert. Some of our existing radios will convert to the new system. So it's really just a simple purchase, installation, program, all within a short period of time.
How many radios total are you working off of?
Right now, currently, I think we have about 70.
And then,
Close to about 50 of those will not upgrade to the new system.
okay. I know that emergency management usually holds some radios back in storage, and I don't know if if they're able to.
Nelson has, well, there he is. He has brought us out some to replace some of our aging infrastructure. So we have been utilizing some of the hand-me-downs from other departments already.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
You bet.
One other item that I might mention, one item that was approved last time, the Extension Office roof replacement of $88,600. I think that might be considered, that could possibly be paid either from the 2022 contingency or from our roof parking lot fund. We have several projects that, prior capital outlay projects that have come in under what was approved, that we could kind of use to seed this parking lot fund, and would cover that $88,600. So I would make the recommendation that we look at one of those two sources, either the 2022 contingency or this new roof parking lot fund to fund that.
Questions or comments on that?
That had been previously approved, so. we would need a motion to change that.
Wait, I don't think, did you approve, do we approve the extension? All right, so
Yeah,
then I would make a motion to remove it.
I'll second that. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0. All right.
So with the removal of that, then, Betty, we would have then, within our $2 million allocation so far, to add the Stormont Vale Event Center radios, since they were at $75,000.
Yes.
So I would make a motion then to add the radios.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
There were two items that, in looking over the capital outlay, that I wanted to bring up and maybe kind of touch on if we could, and that is the Department of Corrections security system upgrade and then the annex security system upgrade. And I didn't know if Director Cole could maybe readdress those. We're looking at a total of $238,000 between them.
Good morning, Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. With the security annex upgrade, and I have Major Eve Kendall here with me, we're running into a problem with that, and Eve, make sure I say this correctly, is for us to be able to connect to upgrade, I think we're going to have to put this request possibly on hold, and I want Eve to explain a little bit better. But for us to be able to connect the annex to the remaining system, it will not allow us to do it with the existing intercom system at the jail because it's analog.
Yes.
So what they're asking is that before we can even connect, we could update some cameras at the annex system. But before, and this was something we've been holding off on waiting for Securus. Securus is not Securus, Sound Products. They're claiming that this project might be out of their league, out of their specialty. So I think that this is a project that we're probably going to have to wait on because this would mean changing out every intercom in the existing adult and juvenile detention center as we speak. So they're saying before you try to connect anything, the system will not connect until you do all of these intercoms. That's going to be a lengthy project. Along with the other, though, with the security upgrade, during our budget, we talked about, and I think Betty made a very good point, is in putting money into capital outlay to pay for things that we pay for every year, new things, replacement of switches, cameras, you name it. And there was a request about, and Betty, make sure I say this correctly, that if that's going to be new, put that in the capital outlay, but if this is just for general maintenance, which we've been using, put that in the budget. So we went ahead and looked at what we needed to purchase for the security upgrade, which came closer to, I think, $138,000 or something like that, and then the 70 for the extra year. Those are years we put in there because we buy stuff new every year. Sometimes it is for switches, sometimes it is, but we won't know till we get there. But this was to get us to the point, and speaking with Betty a couple weeks ago, to get us to the point to buy the things that we need to get that security stuff upgraded, because we're going to be looking in several years down the road of having to upgrade once again with technology. Did I say that right? Or Eve? So I don't know if that answers your question, Commissioner Cook, but yes, that is, I do think that the upgrade to the annex needs to be pulled, and things like that, and so I'll leave it at that.
So just pull the annex or pull the annex and the adult?
I would say pull the annex, but keep the upgrade, security upgrade.
Eve Kendall, Department of Corrections. The annex upgrade, the director is correct, is going to be a major project. We've found that we have to go to a digital intercom system in order for everything to work. Well, we have intercom to every single cell in our facility, and we house a lot of inmates. So that's a lot of wire and switches and connectivity that we'd have to do. That's more than what we anticipated when we first started on this project. So as far as I would move it. I don't know that I would pull it, but I would move it down the road because it still needs to happen. It's just going to be a lot more money and more figuring in my terms on how we need to get it done correctly.
Well, you had, originally, the Department of Corrections had budgeted $100,000.
For the current main facility,
No,
yes,
No, for the annex.
oh,
Annex was at 100,000. Yes. So are you thinking that's going to be 150?
I believe that, no, I'm thinking it's going to be more than that, sir. My rough estimate that I got from them last week was maybe around 400,000.
And is this something that you could phase in over several years?
I personally, and I've talked to Director Cole a little bit about it, is maybe if we do some physical plant upgrade as far as adding facility, adding space, that maybe we just put it into that because they're going to say that we shouldn't keep on putting analog system in, that we're going to need to put digital system in to the, if we do the mental health addition or the Sallyport and booking renovation. So I'm thinking that that might be the time that we maybe look at it, which I think that, as far as having the system done all at the same time, because we are also looking at going to a national company versus our more local company.
So
Some of the.
we may not know the answer now, but looking out into 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027, if the commission was to budget $100,000 per year, is that the direction that the department would rather go, spacing that out over a 4-year or do we put $200,000 in 2025 and $200,000 in 2026 and do it within a 2-year?
I believe from my discussions with our vendor, our contractor, the intercom system, it's like a all at once. I know that we could run both of them at the same, an analog and the digital at the same time, but and I might need Mark Price a little bit to talk more technology-wise because I'm just enough to be dangerous. They said that we, that we can run both, so we have a redundant system until we get them all moved over. But I don't know what that looks like price-wise because we have vendors coming in over and over and over again. So I don't know what the best course of action truly is yet. I know that we do have some things that we still need to do at the annex as far as upgrading some old cameras and stuff that we can use currently that we were approved for this year for our capital improvement. I don't know that how much we're going to do next year, though, until we really figure out our course of action. I know. That's what I
So-
said too, sir.
So there's two items. There's
Yes, sir.
The security system upgrade for $138,800, and then the annex for $100,000. You're wanting to move both of those back, or just?
No, sir. The other one, the main facility, we have a lot of, I had a bid for the NVRs, which is the video recording system that we use, so that we can basically save all the camera footage that we have for an extended period of time. That bid alone was $100,000 between all the, because we have roughly, we need 4 huge ones and then 2 small ones. Huge ones being 48 terabyte and then the small ones being a 24 terabyte. But that alone was a big number. So that's why we were asking for that to take care of that. Otherwise, we have switches and stuff that we also, and then there comes times where we find out through either incident or auditing that we have blind spots or whatever, that we need to add more cameras to our system or other equipment. And so that's what we use that capital improvement for.
And is 183, or sorry, 138,800 going to be sufficient to be able to accomplish that?
Yes, that is the need for next year, and then to be able to maybe, not, like I was saying synonymously with pulling, maybe bumping into later years, yes. But the 138 to do now. And if that means for money, if that means with our other request with the furniture, bumping that to 24, 25, and 26 instead of 23, 24, and 25, we're willing to do that as well. Because I think that was 80,000, 120, and 120. Isn't that right, Jennifer? I think so. For the module furniture, if this helps with this bigger, we can push those to, instead of 23, 24, 25, 24, 25, 26.
I would move for approval of the request from Department of Corrections on Department of Corrections Security System Upgrade, item 188, for the 138,000 for 2023, and then 70,000 each year for 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027.
You want that 138,800, you want,
Yes.
or you dropped the 800 there?
Yes, for what was requested.
But all 5 years?
Yes.
Okay. I would second that.
Okay, we've got a motion by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
And Betty, that should put us about 70,000 over our 2 million.
Okay, let me find this one. Yes, 72,700.
But that's over the
That's-
2,025,000.
Yes.
So it would be, we're at 2,097,800.
Yes,
So we're about
$800.
100,000 more than what we wanted to be.
I would move for the Parks and Recs master plan to be done in 2024 for the $150,000.
I'll second that. Is that a motion?
That is motion.
Okay, I'll second that. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
2024.
2024.
I'll make a motion that we push back the DOC.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, you're ahead of me.
Okay. I'll finish it, we just won't vote. The DOC annex security upgrade, we'll move that back to 24 also.
The 100,000,
Yeah.
Well, except we're probably
it'd
looking at...
be maybe 400, well, we don't know.
Well, right, but
Okay, moving it back, either way.
I'll second that.
okay.
I'm waiting for...
Yeah.
Betty.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, now, what was the next one?
The DOC annex security system for 100,000, just moving that to 2024.
Is that approving it or just moving it?
Moving it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner
Well,
Mays.
and you're moving to approve it. You're saying that will be an expense for 2024.
An approved expense?
Yeah.
In '24?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so motion by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes
And-
3-0.
And Betty, that was the same for the master plan. My motion was to move it and approve it.
Okay, yeah, that one I got, I just
Okay.
wasn't certain on this other.
Now, that is going to put 2024 over a $2 million.
Yes.
That is over by 80, it's 89,000.
89,000.
Okay. The,
Did we move any of that, of the furniture?
No.
well, the adult,
We talked about it.
the
The
Department of
beds and
Corrections-
storage were withdrawn. You mean the DOC furniture?
Well,
Yes.
there's also the juvenile.
The juvenile.
For 55.
Oh, okay. No, I
And then
really
also the
didn't think they'd
workstation
done that.
replacements for 60
is.
this year.
Morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. On both of those requests, those can be moved out to 24, 25, 26. Both of those requests can.
Betty, can I see that bottom line again?
Yes.
Further discussion on any of this?
I would move for the approval of the weed department expansion in 2027 for 400,000.
I'll second that.
The weed department expansion. I'm sorry, can you tell me what?
It's down towards the bottom there.
222,
222, okay.
Line number 71.
Okay, and you would, I'm sorry,
approve that.
okay. Is that
What-
second?
What year was?
Last,
Set
27.
Does that have a second?
it was seconded by Commissioner Mays.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
motion's been made by
Thank you.
Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Betty, can you, again, when you're able, scroll down to the bottom so that I'm looking at the, I would move for approval of item 221, IT, fiber connection to county buildings for 2025 for the remainder of what was left. I think it's 81,000.
110?
But it's 110 that was requested, but we have, out of our 2 million,
Oh, oh.
81,000. Betty, if you
Yes, 81,000, so
make that an approval of
make that
81,000.
81,000.
Yes.
I'll second that. So motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. I had a question on, for the Sheriff's Department, on the drone refresh for 2024. Obviously, technology changes, wear and tear, all that. I mean, I can see the need there. How many drones does $50,000 get you? Would that be better if we spread that out over a couple of years, or?
Shane Hubler, Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. You're absolutely right. It's a technology-based piece, and we could spread that out over years if that would be your pleasure. It's just a matter of we've got to get them replaced because the technology is just ever-changing.
Okay. And I know you probably don't want to talk in too great of detail, but I mean, is this like you're wanting to replace all of them at once, or?
We have two primary drones, larger drones, and then we have smaller drones that are able to be deployed, kept in the field and deployed more quickly. The larger drones are kept at the law enforcement center and are deployed for bigger events.
Okay.
So that would be for probably both of the big drones, depending on the costs and how, especially with technology, trying to receive items after they've been ordered, somewhat
Sure.
problematic. But
Okay, I'd make a motion that we do on that item, $25,000 in 2024 and another $25,000 in 2025.
What number is that?
239.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
And I'm sorry, can you tell me that again? I was finding it.
239 under
Got that.
Sheriff Drone Refresh.
Right.
Yep, there you go. So that'd be 25,000 next year and 25,000 in 25.
Okay. Oops.
When you're ready for the
I'm
next
sorry,
item.
now I
Becky,
gotta
let me
find
know.
it again. And then, okay. Okay.
I would move to approve item 90 under Stormont Vale Event Center, Heritage Hall HVAC repair renovation in 2026 for $275,000.
I'll second that. Got a motion by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Any discussion? All right, those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
We'll wait for Betty to find
Yeah,
that.
I'm sorry. Okay. And
It's approved.
we're gonna hold 275,000 in
Correct.
26.
Yes. Move for approval of item 246, Sheriff Law Enforcement Center cameras in 2026 for $65,000.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Stormont Vale Event Center has a request for utility vehicles. Is that for, that's for 2?
Sorry, just give me a minute.
Yeah, that request is for one utility vehicle, similar to a Kubota, with an enclosed cab, with HVAC in the cab, and 2 golf carts. The utility vehicle would allow us to get inside of the facilities, which our fleet right now cannot. We currently have 3 pickup trucks, 2 mid-90s model pickup trucks, and 1 early 2000 model pickup truck, both depleting in age and infrastructure. So that's what that request would be utilized for.
Okay.
Can that be pushed out to 2026, or is it going to be something need to be addressed sooner?
I was thinking about maybe just breaking it out into phases. Again, kind of what we did with the drones, but.
We're already over, I mean, we're going to have to readjust our amounts for budgeted for capital outlay.
We can certainly spread the project and remain the remaining useful life of some of our pickup fleet. But yeah, we will need something in the near future.
What are you guys using for snow removal right now?
We don't use a lot for our own personal snow removal. We do have a blade that goes onto the front of one of our skid steers, but most of our snow removal is done by a third-party contractor.
Okay. And it, Kellen, sorry.
Yeah, I need steps.
Are the golf carts, you guys don't have any golf carts now, or?
We do have 2 golf carts. One is currently awaiting to be found by the police department. It was stolen. It's not uncommon for that to happen. It's happened a number of times over the past few years, but they usually turn back up in a few weeks. We are still waiting to get that golf cart back.
Okay. Appreciate that.
The sheriff's office has withdrawn their request for the range mower, project 238 for $50,000, and that's just withdrawn.
Okay. Say that again?
You've got a request for parking lots. You've also approved $500,000 per year for parking lots. It's
Are they both under there?
The DOC parking lot, the one you just,
Well, so, I mean, there is a redundancy there, but, I mean,
yeah, for 23.
where was that at? That was a pretty big parking lot, wasn't it?
Well, there's 600,000 that's requested. There was an item that was approved out of last year's capital outlay for the DOC roof in the amount of 600,000 that then was, the 21s, and then it was then then it was approved out of ARPA. So that 600,000 was approved out of 21's capital outlay, but will not be paid out of capital outlay because then you later approved it to pay it out of ARPA funds. So that is an amount that could be transferred to the parking lot fund.
That was split into 2 years, though, wasn't it?
Yes.
Would we take all of it? Transfer it? Is that what
We
you're-
could potentially. I mean, there is 600,000 that was allocated for that
That
roof.
eats up a lot of it, though.
I mean, it was exactly 600,000.
I'm fine if we want to stop here.
So, that 600,000, is that just sitting in a fund right now then?
In the capital outlay fund, because that's where it was approved out of, yes. It could be transferred to this new roof and parking lot fund, along with the other items that I told you that could make up the amount for the extension office of 86,000. There's over 100,000, I believe it is, that was in projects. Right around 700,000 total that could be moved as, what Jennifer and I kind of talked about is that could be seed money for that fund to kind of get it started.
Okay. Thoughts on that?
We could move that 1 year's of the 225,000, we could move into that. That'd give us a little breathing room.
But we haven't approved that from this year, so it's not, I mean, it's just
It
out.
hasn't been approved, no.
It doesn't change anything on the capital outlay for 2023.
Right.
I mean, presently, our 2023 is 72, I'm sorry. Betty, if you can scroll back down.
Okay, sorry, I was going to mark this one as withdrawn. Yeah.
We're 97,800 over for 2023. And I would move to approve the 2023 at 2,097,800.
Before we do that, I think if we allocated that 600,000 towards the parking lot and roof fund, and then we lowered our approved amount of $500,000 a year to $400,000 a year, that would get us kind of where we need to be, wouldn't it?
It would, but is that in the future, is that, I think we kind of determined that we thought we could use the 500,000 each year. Now, that we can certainly do that. It's just, are you hurting yourself down the road? Because what we're looking at this for now, we've already got projects for. you know, the amount that we would be transferring into there, we've already got projects for. But we certainly can.
Well, we've got no shortage of projects.
No, that is true.
So we do have a motion on the table.
And that would just basically be ending 2023 for what we've already approved. And if we need more time to think on this and be able to look it over in full form, instead of scrolling back and forth through multiple screens, I would withdraw my motion.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know a better way to get it
I'll
all
withdraw
on
my
there.
motion.
If you want to think about that, we could go on to the new debt section and work on that. Give you a little time to mull it over.
And as to new debt, again, my request that I want the commission to consider is $10 million to go towards Parks and Recreation, $10 million to go towards the Department of Corrections.
And that is both in 23.
And that would be a total of $20 million in 2023.
So you're not going to specify projects,
No.
just a lump sum.
We could then prioritize during 2023 where that would go. I mean, Family Park or out to.
Yes. Did have communication with bond counsel, and basically, the resolution as it stands right now for the $10 million is designated to the property at 21st and Urish, and the match portion for that trail. And Jim, correct me if I'm wrong. But
Well, that's exactly what, this is Jim
Yeah.
Crown, County Councilor.
Yeah.
We reached out to Bob Perry last week after the initial discussion, and he confirmed that what we've already done goes to Family Park and/or the items you just referenced, finishing that trail project. But through the process that's already been enabled, we can rather simply go through the same process and issue new debt in whatever manner we seek to do so.
And that was due to we had approved but not issued the debt yet.
that's correct. Yes, so that can just be ignored and not acted upon at all. It could be rescinded, and then basically, I think we would start over. And you would designate an amount and use.
So my only concern with the $10 million for Department of Corrections is it's so much lower than what they've requested. That I'm just not sure that it gets us what we need. I mean, that's, I think, my biggest concern, and, but I also don't favor issuing, $40 million of debt, which is what it would take to accomplish, I think, everything that's been requested, so.
Now, their mental health housing extension was $10,500,000. So it was close to the 10 million.
One thing that Director Cole and I had talked about is possibly looking at how we configure the Department of Corrections. Currently, we have the juvenile detention center and the adult detention facility within one physical plant, so although separated by the Sally Port. If you were to reconfigure that and remove the juvenile detention center, the detention center is built for a population of 75 or thereabouts, but we're only housing about 25 presently due to statutory changes. It may be more economical for us to look at building a new juvenile detention facility somewhere that is properly sized, and then convert the juvenile detention facility into a mental health facility, so you're not building a new physical plant, and then your adult population would all be within one building. And again, that's just an idea, that's just a rough discussion, and again, I'm not an architect or an engineer or a physical plant manager, so that may not even be feasible. I think that also in talking with Director Cole, there may be some other funding opportunities to help defer some of these costs that he's looking at.
I sure hope so.
Just a question. Since anything at the jail would require, sounds like, potentially reworking plans and all of that, is this something we could even get started in 2023? Good. Even with redoing plans and all that?
Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Several years ago, when it came to the Sally Port and booking area and transport area, the commission did approve us to do an RFQ for that, which was done, oh gosh, 3 years ago, and that bid was awarded, and so they developed some plans tentatively for that. So there are plans that, and that the company that got that would be automatically awarded the bid for just the Sally Port in that area there. So there are plans for that, and there's some rough plans for that. But if you're going to start, if we start looking at, you know, a residential center, that takes a whole different, whether we go design build kind of stuff there. If we do a mental health module, there were some rough plans. But if you're looking at a renovation at the old juvenile detention center, you know, that would start that whole thing all over again. That would have to be put out for that. Those other projects would not have anything to do with the what was already awarded or approved for the Sally Port. Yeah, that would take a whole different set of eyes in looking at that. Commissioner Cook is correct that we're currently in negotiations with a company to look to see if there is some funding opportunities for that. You know, we're in the middle of that. I'd like to be able to see what they actually will, part of the contract, in working with Betty and Jim Crowell's office on how that would work. We did this similar with Aramark with the food service and stuff like that. But as far as, I would be more comfortable with the moving ahead if it came down to renovating the old juvenile detention center and you're looking at, yeah, several years for something like that. Yeah, we couldn't start that next year. You're probably right, Betty. Hope that answers the question.
The only reason I brought that up is because you don't want to issue debt and start paying interest on something you know you're not going to be able to use the money for, you know, an extended period of time.
And my intent would be to have these as two separate bonding matters. $10 million to go to Parks and Recreation, and $10 million comes within $2 million of funding the requests of Family Park, Oakland, Dornwood, and the Grange Hall. And I would maybe work within work within Parks and Recreation to see how those projects fall, but knowing that they have $10 million to draw from to address those projects. And then have a separate debt of $10 million that we would issue at some point on the Department of Corrections after we hash some of this out. again, we're not paying interest on it until we actually start
Right,
borrowing.
that's true.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0.
And that's in 2023.
That's in 2023. And I know that there are big ticket items that are coming down the pike in 2024, 2025, 2026, but I think we should probably hold off on commitments on those new debt for those other years until we know a little bit more in looking at our debt situation. But it's good to have on our radar elections and fleet management for Parks and Recreation.
Any further discussion on this, or are we ready to approve it as is?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0, and so that would conclude our discussion on capital outlay and new debt.
I will make the, remind you that the CIP projects are all on our website. They will need to be updated for what you approved today, but those will be out there for the public to drill down and see them once this is updated.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I think it is important to note that while we've approved a capital outlay plan and new debt plan, it's not final until the final budget
Yes.
is authorized. And so if for those that are watching at home, those reporting in the audience named Tim Rencher, it's not approved until it's approved.
And I will also just remind all the departments that this is approved for funding. This does not change any of the processes and procedures that are needed for purchasing or for going in, or for design build. If there's a design build, that has to go through a whole process. So it does not change any of that. Those still have to come to the commission as usual.
Okay. Any other discussion on this? Seeing none. Next item, please.
Item 5, public comment.
I don't have anyone signed up today. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, next item.
Item 6, administrative communications.
Any administrative communications?
Look at him, he becomes director, first one up at the table.
Yeah, and it's a real exciting thing today, too. Mark Price, Director of Information Technology. I just wanted to bring to your attention, we are releasing a new media release application for our website. What this allows for is departments to directly post media releases without going through the IT department. We have occasions where something gets posted or needs to be posted on a weekend. Not that it's a big deal to get someone from IT, but this will allow the departments to directly do it, do the posting. If you look, this is kind of the old, boring site, not that the new one's looks much different. Just a big long list of press releases, and you click on one and it takes you to it. Doesn't seem like a real exciting thing, but when you go to the new site, when we update the new one, if there's an update to a press release, when the update is put out, there is a link automatically put in for the existing press release. So this Kurt's probably the better example of, we do a road closure for some reason because of weather, it gets delayed. We've sent out the press release saying this is when it's going to be closed, but 2 days later, we put out a new one. If they still have the old link, they're going to go to it and say, well, the road was supposed to be closed. With this new site, you'll actually get a link and can click on the new updated post, and it will take you to the new updated post. It will also reference every updated news release that was put out there at that time. Just makes it a little more transparent to the community, and also makes sure the most up-to-date information is available to the public, easy without having to look through a list of news releases. That should be going live this week sometime. I don't know the exact date, but that is our plan.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Kearney House Director of Public Works, just to let the public and everyone know within the county organization that beginning August 1, Southwest 61st between Auburn Road and Hodges Road will be closed to through traffic. Local access will be provided, and the closure is for our emergency bridge replacement. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. I believe it's the Commission's desire to start budget hearings, or budget discussions, hearings are past, start the budget discussions and decisions beginning on Thursday.
Correct. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, Commissioner Rippon?
I attended the Shawnee County Fair. It was great. And got judged the commissioner bread baskets. It was good.
Great.
Good, fun time. And attended the hog judging. You laugh out there. Yeah, I really appreciate all the hard work the kids put into 4-H, and I think it's just great for developing youth, and it's a good program.
Did you want to report on how many hot pickles you ate?
I did not eat any hot pickles.
No, okay.
I reserved that for Commissioner Cook. He could.
I did not make it to the hot pickle eating contest.
Oh, okay.
So disappointing. All right.
All right, Commissioner Cook?
I just want to thank the Stormontville Event Center and all of their staff in helping put the fair together. The Fair Association, I mean, it wouldn't work without all the staff help from Kellen and his team. I just want to appreciate Spectre and their work with the Fair Association in making that happen. So.
Great. I did want to just remind everyone that on Thursday we will have a late start. We'll be starting our meeting at 11 o'clock. That is so we all can attend an event at Walmart Distribution Center that morning. We will be doing budget discussions that day too, so it might be a long meeting. Who knows? That's all I've got, though.
Did you say bring our lunch?
What's that?
Did you tell us to bring our lunch then on Thursday?
Yeah, sack lunch for everyone. Bring
No,
that.
they're supposed to bring their own. We're not supplying.
Yeah, sure. Bring your own sack lunch. Okay, that's all I've got, so next item, please.
Item 7, executive session.
We do not have a need for executive session today, so we are adjourned.